You've just sat your first AST trial, which means you're going to be receiving results of the trial to determine how you went. And that's what this video is about. It's going to explain to you how to interpret the information that you receive back from your multiple choice papers in each trial. So you've just sat a trial in September and it's your first trial in year 11. You're going to be sitting 2 more trials in year 12, and each time you're going to be receiving a piece of paper back with information on it on how you went that looks just like this. So let me show you how to interpret it. The top line here shows your student name and student ID. The second line shows your Connect class, and under your Connect class there is a total. And that total is out of 80. So every AST multiple choice test is out of 80. So that is your total score that you got correct. However, in the AST, they actually break down the questions into quantitative questions and verbal questions. And that's really, really important. So what you've got on the right-hand side here is a total number of quantitative questions that you got correct and the total number of verbal questions that you got correct. So in this example, Clark Kent got 27 out of 40 quantitative questions correct and 22 out of 40 verbal questions correct in the multiple choice paper. This bottom cell here has some very important information that you need to understand, and that is that you sat the 2011 AST multiple choice paper. So we provided that to you for training, and that was the paper that all of the students across the ACT in year 12 sat in the year 2011. And the average quantitative score out of 40 for all of those students across the ACT was 20.7. And the average verbal score for students across the ACT in that 2011 paper was 24.9. Now, why are these numbers important? Because these are the numbers that you want to start looking at and comparing your results to figure out whether you were above the average of that cohort in 2011 or below the average in that cohort of 2011. So this gives you a way of comparing your results to a larger number of students each time that you get these results back. So that's important. Now down below in this second table here, you'll actually see a number of cells. The very first column here shows you the question number. So for example, this is question 1, this is question 2. Next to question 1 and 2, it tells you whether or not the question is quantitative or verbal. So V for verbal, so we can see here that question 1 is verbal and question 2 through 5 are quantitative. In the next column, you can see the answer, the actual correct answer for the question. So for example, I know for question 1, the answer was C. For question 2, the answer was D, etc. The fourth column is your response. This is what you actually responded in the test. So what I see a lot of students do when they get these back is that they start to highlight the questions that they got correct and the questions that they got incorrect. And that's really important because what that enables you to do is start to establish an understanding of the types of questions in the AST that you are skilled at and the types of questions in the AST that you need more practice in. Because as you know from your training, a lot of these questions are broken up into different skill sets, whether they be the ability to interpret images or interpret graphs or mathematical skills. And if you can start to identify by going through this handout and comparing it to the questions in the multiple choice paper, you'll be able to start to see a pattern of the things that you really need to develop skills in. So we can see here that for question 5, Clark Kent got that question wrong. So you can go and have a look at question 5 in the paper and figure out, okay, well, why did I get that wrong? And is that an area that I need improvement in? In order to fit it onto the page, questions 1 through 40 are on the left-hand side of the page, and questions 41 through 80 are on the right side of the page. I'll point out one other thing, which is that if you left a question blank, you will find that the word blank is in your response column. Now I see this quite a lot in marking the multiple choice for the AST. I find either students have left a single answer blank, which is probably just a mistake and they haven't gone back to complete that response, or they actually leave a whole unit of questions blank if they don't understand the questions in that unit. Now, this is basically just costing you an opportunity to have a 1 in 4 chance of getting something correct if you're really, really unsure. And in the initial training, the CEA for the AST, one of the things that was emphasized was never, ever leave anything blank. So, make sure you know how to read and interpret these sheets that you receive back, because you're going to get 2 more over the course of the next year, and you need to be able to use them to critically analyze what type of questions you are skilled at and what type of questions you need more assistance with. And let us know if you have any questions at all.